Are you an introvert dating an extrovert? Or maybe you're on the other side, wondering how to make it work with your introverted partner. Here's the truth. It can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. In fact, when you understand the dynamics at play, your differences can be the key to a truly amazing relationship. Imagine navigating social events without feeling drained, communicating in a way that both of you feel heard, and setting boundaries without guilt. Sound too good to be true? Stick with me, because in this video, I'm going to share the secrets to making an introvert-extrovert relationship thrive without losing yourself in the process. Ready to turn these challenges into your greatest strengths? Let's dive in. 1. Understand their need for socializing without overwhelming yourself. Extroverts thrive in social settings. They gain energy from conversations, crowds, and spontaneous interactions. Introverts, on the other hand, recharge in solitude, needing quiet moments to process their thoughts. The key to harmony? Balance. If an extroverted partner wants to go out every weekend, but the introverted one prefers a cozy night in, compromise becomes essential. Maybe one night is for socializing, while the other is for a movie at home. The goal isn't to change who you are, but to create a rhythm that works for both. A great way to navigate this is by setting expectations early. If an introvert knows a social event is coming up, they can mentally prepare for it instead of being caught off guard. Likewise, extroverts should understand that a quiet weekend isn't a sign of disinterest. It's simply how their partner recharges. A small but effective strategy: pre-plan quiet time after social events. That way, both partners know when to connect and when to step back without guilt. When an extrovert shares something exciting, an introvert might not always react with the same enthusiasm, but that doesn't mean they're not engaged. Active listening can be a game changer. Instead of forcing energy that feels unnatural, an introvert can show interest in different ways, asking thoughtful questions, remembering details, and offering support. Genuine engagement beats forced excitement any day. And here's where the magic happens. When both partners understand these dynamics, they start creating a connection that's not just sustainable, but deeply fulfilling. 2. Master the art of communication so you both feel heard. Introverts often prefer deep, meaningful conversations, while extroverts thrive in fast-paced exchanges. This difference can sometimes make communication feel like a mismatch. The secret? Finding a rhythm where both feel heard. Instead of trying to match an extrovert's energy, an introvert can focus on expressing themselves clearly and confidently. Short but thoughtful responses can keep the conversation flowing without feeling overwhelming. And for extroverts, understanding that silence isn't disinterest, it's just processing time, can make all the difference. Fast conversations can be tricky for introverts, who may need an extra beat to organize their thoughts. A simple strategy? Use verbal cues to hold space, saying, "Give me a second to think about that," or "That's a great question," buys time without shutting down the conversation. On the flip side, extroverts can help by pausing occasionally, allowing their partner to jump in without feeling rushed. These small adjustments can transform communication from frustrating to fluid.
All right.
Another key aspect is expressing needs without seeming distant. Instead of saying, "I need space," which can sound like rejection, an introvert might say, "I recharge best with some quiet time, but I'd love to talk later." This small shift makes a huge impact. And when an extrovert feels the need for social connection, they can phrase it in a way that invites rather than pressures. Something like, "I'd love for us to go out together, but no pressure if you'd rather stay in tonight." The right words bridge gaps and bring people closer. By the way, if you're finding this helpful so far, make sure to subscribe. I share more tips like these every week to help introverts navigate dating and relationships with confidence. So hit that subscribe button and let's keep going. 3. Set boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls, they're guidelines that keep relationships healthy. For an introvert dating an extrovert, setting boundaries around alone time is crucial, but it doesn't have to feel like rejection. Instead of avoiding social plans last minute, communicating up front makes all the difference. Saying, "I'd love to go, but I'll need a quiet day after," helps the extrovert understand without taking it personally. When boundaries are clear, both partners can plan in a way that respects their needs. Social burnout is real, and without boundaries, an introvert might find themselves drained, resenting even the most enjoyable plans. The key is recognizing when energy is running low and speaking up before reaching exhaustion. A helpful approach? Set a social timer. If a party feels overwhelming, planning to stay for an hour or two can create a mental safety net. And for extroverts, knowing their partner has a limit allows them to enjoy the moment without pressure. Guilt often creeps in when setting limits, but reframing it helps. Alone time isn't selfish, it's necessary. Think of it like charging a phone. Without a recharge, it won't function properly. Similarly, an introvert who takes time to reset can be fully present when they do engage. Instead of feeling bad for needing space, an introvert can remind themselves, and their partner, that this balance benefits both. And when this understanding is mutual, the relationship only grows stronger. 4. Survive social events without draining your energy. Social events can feel like a marathon for introverts, but with the right approach, they don't have to be exhausting. Mental preparation is key. Instead of dreading a crowded party, reframing the experience can make a difference. Setting small goals, like having 3 meaningful conversations or finding a quiet corner to recharge, can make socializing more manageable. And choosing events wisely helps too. Not every gathering needs a yes, and that's perfectly okay. One of the biggest challenges is knowing when to step away without seeming rude. A simple strategy: have a subtle exit plan, saying, "I have an early morning tomorrow," or "I'm going to grab some air for a bit," gives a natural way out. Another trick is teaming up with a social buffer, someone who enjoys the spotlight while allowing the introvert to engage at their own pace. This can be a partner, a close friend, or even a pet at a casual gathering. Energy management is everything. Taking small breaks during the event, stepping outside, finding a quiet spot, or even just excusing yourself for a few minutes can make all the difference. And for extroverted partners, understanding that an introvert's energy depletes differently allows for smoother interactions. The goal isn't to endure social events, but to navigate them in a way that feels natural. And when this balance is found, even the most introverted person can enjoy social moments without feeling drained. 5. Embrace the differences, because opposites can attract. Introvert-extrovert relationships work not despite the differences, but because of them. An extrovert brings excitement, new experiences, and social energy, while an introvert adds depth, introspection, and calm. Together, they create a dynamic that balances adventure with stability. Instead of seeing these differences as obstacles, they can be strengths. The key is shifting the mindset from frustration to appreciation. When both partners value what the other brings, the relationship thrives. Take conversations, for example. An extrovert might jump from topic to topic, while an introvert prefers deeper discussions. Instead of feeling left behind, the introvert can guide the conversation into richer territory, while the extrovert keeps things engaging. The same applies to social settings. The extrovert encourages the introvert to step outside their comfort zone, while the introvert teaches the extrovert the beauty of stillness. These contrasts, when embraced, create a relationship full of growth. Rather than trying to fix each other, the magic happens when both lean into their natural strengths. An introvert doesn't have to become the life of the party, and an extrovert doesn't have to love solitude. But by meeting in the middle, whether it's a quiet coffee shop instead of a loud bar, or an occasional social night balanced with cozy evenings in, both partners win. And when that understanding is in place, something incredible happens. They don't just coexist, they evolve together. Now that you've got the tools to make your introvert-extrovert relationship work, it's time to put them into action. The key is understanding, compromise, and embracing each other's differences. So, how will you start applying these strategies in your relationship? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more tips like these.